get you a white girl, she do exactly what you need her to do. Woo, black women get mad when I say that shit.
But it needs to stop, because this is why you're seeing us run amok, and it's not helpful.
This ain't a rap song.
Ma'am, if you're not fit, feminine, or friendly, then you're not what these men want.
This ain't a rap song, it's red pill rage. This ain't a rap song, it's red pill rage. It used to be a time that fairy tales.
Welcome back to the Anthony Spade channel. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notifications button so you can get the videos as soon as I put them out. If you're looking for the music to the intro and you want the link to the second channel, both are below in the description. But can you do me a favor, hit the notifications button right now. All right, guys, I got about 5 videos for you. The first video is going to be the video in front of me is a woman who's going to be going off on BMs about guys who are getting their passport and they're going overseas. The next video is going to be a woman who's also going off on BM about why they need to change the way that they think and the way that they act. We are starting to see a shift here, guys, and I hope you guys are paying attention to it. Because a lot of you guys, you need to start coming outside right now because life may be changing for you. Third video, we got my man Chris Rock is going to be breaking down why BMs get money and they want to go and mess with the Caucasian women. He's going to say it in a jokey way, but he makes a little bit of sense. Next video, we're going to have guys who are saying, why do women who are 304s get in a relationship and they want all their boyfriends to cut off their friends? So is it bros over 304s? And then we have Candace. No, we're not going to do Candace. We got Just Purely Things. She's going to be discussing unhappy marriages. All right, guys, we're going to start off with the first video, which is going to be a BM breaking down the bitterness of other BMs. Make sure you guys go ahead and hit the subscribe and notifications button now.
Ma'am, if you're not fit, so men are saying they're getting their passport because there aren't enough fit, feminine, and friendly women to choose from. And instead of looking in the mirror and asking ourselves if we would make great wives to these men, we would much rather shame them and guilt them into staying with our mediocre asses. Ma'am, if you're not fit, feminine, or friendly, then you're not what these men want. Shut your ass and go to the gym. Like, do we see how toxic we are? So men are saying that.
No, they do not see how toxic they are. Why? Because no one knows who they are. No one knows who they want to be. Everyone comes online to get answers. But online is where people get to run away from reality because you're able to find chat rooms and you're able to find crews that you become part of that agree with everything that you agree with. So in life, the way we're living now, you don't know your thinking's wrong as long as there's someone next to you to agree with it. And now there are ways you can go online and you can find everybody that thinks like you and you'll never have to face the truth. Just as much as BMs are delusional about how men view them and how life is rotating, we also have a lot of guys out here who are delusional about who they are and how life is supposed to be as well, because everyone is confused. That's why if you do not have a dream, it's hard for you to stay focused and you can become distracted with your own belief system. All right, next video is going to be another BM, letting the BMs know what's going on.
Black women are above criticism right now. And I don't know why that is or where it came from, but it needs to stop, because this is why you're seeing us run amok, and it's not helpful. This is why black women can be shaking their ass in a restaurant, and when the owner tries to correct them, they go and ruin his Yelp review. This is why Joe Biden could have spoken to any woman in America that he wanted to, but he talked to Cardi B, who could barely string a sentence together. But no one wanted to say anything because she's a black woman. This is why you have single black women having children, having child after child, but no one wants to say anything as she screams, "I don't need a man," while she teaches your daughters these same values and raise your sons to be gangbangers. And no one wants to say anything to black women.
Woo! Y'all heard it right then and there. No one wants to say anything because they're all scared. BMs are the bullies of society. They actually think that they're winning when they're not realizing people are giving you what you want because they're afraid of the backlash if you don't get what you want. See, BMs actually get to run around and do what they want to do. They make life seem so easy, don't they? But you have to realize they're doing nothing but scaring everyone. They're left to hang out with each other. They're not getting husbands. It's just them and their overweight friends taking trips together. That's the only thing that's left to do. And them and their overweight friends get to tell each other what they want to hear. So they never get to feel loneliness until they go home by themselves. So what do? They just keep playing get-togethers. They just keep planning outings so they never have to be alone, and everyone gets to sit around and tell each other what they want to hear. Lauryn Hill said it the best. People never know they're doing wrong as long as there's someone around to applaud. Next video, we have my man Chris Rock breaking down why guys go to a Caucasian women. Let's get to it.
Pissed off at some interracial dating, boy. Black women get angrier than Southern white men. Especially if they see like a white girl with a famous black man. They see like a white girl with Denzel Washington, they fucking start shaking, man. Trying to take our good black men. We only got 8. You get you a white girl, she do exactly what you need her to do. Woo, black women get mad when I say that shit.
He's right. But the thing is, a lot of guys do go over there, but the grass is not always greener on the other side. That's going to be the first thing that I say. It is easier, but from my experiences, and trust me, I've had a lot of experiences on the other side. After a while, I don't never sense a connection on that side. With me, I've always felt the connection within the Black, Latino, and Arabic community, which is where I mainly date. But yes, he's absolutely right. BMs, you have passed up on a lot of good black men because they just wasn't tough enough for you. But like I say in a lot of videos, all this stems all the way back to childhood. Most black women are taught that they do not need a man before they even know what dating is. So as your brain develops, if that's one of the first things that you learned, then it's going to be one of the hardest habits for you to break, which is why they go their whole entire life being breeders. You know, they're able to have the children, they're just not able to be the perfect wife. All right, next video is going to be guys talking about, is it men over the 304s in relationships? Let's get to it.
At their item, she expects him to kind of distance himself from his homies and just be solely focused on her. She expects to be, not only distance herself from him, she expects to be prioritized over his homeboys. And what he's saying is that's not gonna happen until you prove that you deserve to be prioritized over them, because we got all of this history. We was broke together. We didn't have no fucking money. We done slept on couches. We done starved together. We done went through everything. And they never folded on me, even when I couldn't give them nothing.
Right.
But our relationship is conditional. If I am not able to provide, you'll leave me. Right? So what he's saying is that it's a steep ass fucking hurdle for you to get to that same level of respect. And a lot of women don't understand that. Do you agree with that sentiment?
I agree 1,000%. Until I see that we've been in a position kind of similar to what me and my boys have been through, then yeah, I agree.
All right, I agree with him in a way. If that girl ain't been through the rough edges with you and help you build up, and your boys have been there for you, yes, you're supposed to put your boys over your girlfriend. Understand that right now. As you start to mature in life, realistically, if you still have the same bros and y'all are still hanging out together that you had when you was 20, chances are if you're still in 35 and you're still hanging around those guys, you guys are broke. And you're probably in positions where all of you have baby mamas and you're working half-in jobs. That's just what I'm saying. In life, when you develop that lion's mindset, you're not gonna have too many close friends because you're gonna learn to take on the world yourself. A lot of people need friends because they're sheep. They don't know where they're going. So if you plan on being a guy in a relationship, plan on being a lion to where you don't need to put your bros over your girl because you have enough strength to be able to tame her. All right, guys, we're gonna get to the last video, which is it's gonna be just Pearly Themes. She's blowing up on the scene right now. Let's get to it.
Basically, the more partners a woman has, the less likely she is to have a happy marriage. So if someone has a bad boy past, like, she's less likely to be satisfied in her marriage, because if you're a virgin when you get married, you have an 80% chance of getting into a happy marriage after 10 years. If you have had sex with more than 5 people, which I think most men pray for nowadays, and it drops down to 25%. And so I think that's why historically we've always protected women and like tell them to like not be sexual outside of marriage, because the bond is so strong for women during sex. We release a hormone during sex that men don't. And
she's absolutely right. Once a woman is for the streets, she'll never know how to be a wife. In order for a woman to be a wife has to teach her how to be a wife. In my opinion, where we're going right now, you have a small percentage of women that are actually taught to be wives. Most of these women are running free and they don't know what to do. They have no structure, that the only thing that is left for them to do is to be addicted to sex. That's what you guys have to realize. A lot of these women after sex, they're not gonna have any connection with no man at all. And the only thing that they know about a relationship is a simp. The more guys she sleep with, the lower her value is to her. So she ends up with weaker guys. The first baby dad is gonna be the strongest baby dad compared to the rest of the baby dad. That would get weaker and weaker and weaker. You will only see a weak man trying to be with a woman with like 4 kids by 5 different dudes. Like, that's just what it is. And that's what most of these women end up with. Mentally ill men that are not in control of their desires, which causes them to be simps. And now women are addicted to those type of dudes because those type of dudes cater to their insecurity. The more guys she sleep with, the less valuable she feels inside. You have to understand, guys, you cannot fall for what a woman is telling you on surface. This is Anthony Spade. Hopefully you guys got the message behind the video. Comment, like, subscribe to both of my channels. Hasta la vista.